She said, "You see that guy right there? He designed the t-shirt you're buying." And I'm like, stop, just don't do that. We don't want to draw attention to myself. But
we make a lot of friends here at Talenthouse, and it's one of the great things about this community. I want to welcome Moses Ruperto to the show. It's a brand new show we're putting together at Talenthouse. It's called Talenthouse Creatives. We just want to talk to a lot of the friends that we've made along the way. So you have contributed to so many creative briefs. I wanted to reach out to you and just kind of get to know you. And this is the first interview in this format. So welcome to this.
Man, I have to say that it's an honor to be first. It's an honor to meet you, Luis, and just my whole Talenthouse venture has just been an incredible experience. So just thank you for the opportunity to do this.
Let's talk about some of the things that you have on your Instagram. Like bio mentions 10-time contest winner. That's crazy. Like that in itself, it's such a blessing. What are some of the standout wins that you would say?
Yeah, well, I have to say a blessing it is indeed. You know, they all mean the world to me. So it is very difficult to, select some of them and highlight them individually. Actually, two, there are two that come to mind. And the first one actually is actually outside of Talenthouse. It was actually a global t-shirt design contest by the brand Uniqlo. It was the first time I ever entered into something of that magnitude. And I just remember, the process, working on it. It was a Thor t-shirt design. Shout out, my favorite Avenger is Thor. Working on that, I just remember enjoying the process. I remember having a good time. I just remember thinking about it. I was so invested in having fun in the process that I really wasn't attached to the outcome, because it's like, there's so much talent out there. You don't enter a global contest and really expect to be selected. But that if you don't enter, then you have absolutely no chance of being selected. So,
yeah,
I went with it. I was one of the few designs that were selected. And as excited as I was about that, it didn't compare to myself and a friend actually going to the store and watching people purchase the t-shirt off the shelves. So, when I saw that happening, that's when it became very real. And, I don't want to say that I've ever really sold myself short as an artist, but, a moment like that can only, just increase your confidence and make you feel like, wow, maybe I can sit at the table with all of these artists that I look up to,
That's amazing, man. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at those t-shirts and I'm like, wow, oh my goodness, much respect to these artists. And you're one of them. It's like, oh my God, that's...
Yeah. The friend that I was with, she had to just go up to the person who was online to purchase. And she said, "You see that guy right there? He designed the t-shirt you're buying." And I'm like, stop, just don't do that. We don't want to draw attention to myself. But it was a lot of fun. So that was a big moment for me. And I think as far as Talenthouse goes, there was a brief for the new Bill and Ted movie 2 years ago. And that was the one that kind of, I don't know if you follow the NBA finals, but when Steph Curry won his championship, he had his hands on his head because he couldn't believe it. When I was selected for the Bill and Ted movie, I was no different, because, I'm a big Keanu Reeves fan. And, when I found out that he participated in the selection process, I was just blown away and humbled by it. So that was really, really cool.
I want to talk about your most recent win, which is the Bad Guys. That's one of those briefs where, we're always excited about every single brief that we have, but that one just kind of blew up. It's like people from all over the world, different communities were contributing and talking about it. And we saw it in the comments. There were so many people. So it could have gone anywhere, like people from all over the world. Just walk us through that design process that you had, color choices, the composition, little details that you had in there.
Yeah, so I guess, one of the things that I try to do for most, if not, all of my submissions is I always like to, I guess, feature a cool factor. And what I mean by a cool factor is something that I feel is highly unlikely to be explored by a different artist. For example, Some of the elements that were in the background of that one really kind of highlighted or was a symbol of what it means to be a bad guy, a criminal. You know, I featured some fingerprints. There were police sirens. Oh yeah, the handcuffs, right? Yeah, so you have the handcuffs. So it took me a long time to come to this realization, but colors inspire me a lot. You know, I could be at somebody's home and I could just be in their restroom and see a color combination or a palette in their curtains, and I'll look at the curtains and say, okay, those are the colors that I'm going to explore for my next submission. So it isn't always looking at, you know, different movie posters or anything of that nature. It could be grout, it can be tiles, and I'll say, okay, I'm going to implement that in the design. So that was a big influence in creating this one.
One thing I like to do when I look at a piece of artwork that I like is just to kind of blur my eyes, and you see that, you know, the yellow and the red pop out in your entry. So it's like you're kind of like, you're drawn into it. I saw you took a picture the day you won. You posted a picture, and you took, like, who took that picture of you with the laptop and just kind of showing it off?
Yeah. So my dad and my brother were both there. I think it was either my dad or my brother that took the shot, but I just remember, you know, having the laptop open, getting the notification on my phone, and then just like, I didn't even wait to come inside. I just opened it up. We were outside and we just said, let's just capture this moment right now.
How would you encourage artists that maybe haven't won yet, but they keep trying that, you know?
Actually have over the years, you know, have given this some thought. And one of the things that I kind of fell victim to when I first, you know, started, you know, with Talenthouse was I felt like I had to submit to every single brief. That's how I felt. You know, it became a chore. It was like, okay, I have to finish this one because I have to finish it. What I would encourage is, you know, pick one or two that really stand out to you, that you're really passionate about, or that you feel you have a strong idea for, and really develop that concept. Now, another thing is, I know that Talenthouse allows you to submit, you know, I think sometimes up to 10 versions or different submissions. And if an artist wanted to take that route, I would say, you know, that's fine. But that didn't necessarily work for me. What works for me is just narrowing in on one idea, developing it as much as I can until I feel it's at the point where, okay, I'm ready to submit this idea. You know, don't feel like you have to submit something that is the usual or the usual concept that most movies would do. You know, speak, you know, you're the artist, you have, you know, a lot of these briefs give us so much creative liberty. So, you know, feel free to explore.
Definitely good tips. I really appreciate you taking the time to kind of talk to us, giving us some of your history, some of the story behind your artwork.
Likewise. Thank you again for the opportunity. And, you know, I would still love to communicate and hear more about your story. You know, the whole DC fandom win and all that stuff. You got to tell me about that. So
it's everything that you said. It's one of those moments where you just cannot believe it. It's the perfect thing. It was meant for you. In my case, I've admired Jim Lee since I was a kid, since I had my first comic book. For him to actually announce that, oh, these are the winners, I'm like, forget it. That's mind blowing to me. Thank goodness for Talenthouse for being able to give us this opportunity, because it's it wouldn't have happened. Like, I can't even imagine it happening if it wasn't for these creative briefs. And kind of, you know, I can tell by your story and my story as well. So it's so special.
Again, big thanks to you, Luis. Like, man, you're an inspiration. I'm a fan of your work. And again, thank you, Talenthouse. You know, when we first start out, we dream of one day, you know, creating that illustration or that special movie poster or doing that ad for Nike, you know. Thanks to Talenthouse, we have a platform where, you know, we can see what's out there and we can enter these briefs and speak with our own visual voice.
Absolutely, man. Thank you. And thank you for being a Talenthouse friend. Like, you're a creative friend for us. It's a pleasure to be talking to you right now.
Pleasure's all mine, my friend. Thank you so much.